And you are watching another edition of Blue Splits, fresh off of a Titman to Sauce to AVT review. This is my fourth review of the day. Doing a relatively quick one. I did one on Q, 31 plays of Q, I believe. A little bit off of a year for Q. I would say typically throughout his career, he's been a guy who's been more so towards like pressing towards the top 3 to 5 defensive tackles in the league. Again, I don't know how exactly you quantify it. I would say this year he's more, closer to the bottom 10, well, not bottom 10, bottom of the top 10, 10 through 15 type of range of defensive tackles, however you want to quantify that. I don't think he was the same. He disappeared a little bit in the beginning of the year. A little bit less decisiveness. There's a little bit less plays in the run game, so I didn't record as much. I would say probably Q's worst year, maybe minus his rookie year since he's been in the NFL. So a little bit off for Q. But I think he'll bounce back. You're talking about a guy who's been pretty consistently a top 5 D tackle in the league. He had one off year, and that's not who he is. He's going to be better next year. I'm relatively sure. Now he's rushing as an edge rusher. This is his new spot, outside of the right tackle. And actually does a pretty good job here, getting a hit on the quarterback. Right. So with a guy like Q, you're going to anticipate probably a bull rush as a tackle because he's not going to be able to bend and turn the corner and stuff. So Q takes advantage of an open chest, which the tackle should not be giving him, considering that the bull rush is going to be the only thing that should probably be effective here. Lands the hands into the chest, extension, extension, throws the tackle backwards, arm over, working through the secondary contact of the guard, continues to drive the feet, work past them, get the hit. Good rush. Good rush as an edge rusher there. Bull rushing, getting through, working through secondary contact. Force a hold right here against the Pats. So the whole week where I didn't record anything. You're just kind of absent in that Titans game. One tech over top of the center. Okay. Now, obviously a hold here, but comes off the ball. Center has passive hands. He takes advantage of that. Left hand, the near hand into the chest, works through it. A lot of core power up and through that instep, or up and through the left foot into the instep now, through the left arm, torques the center completely out of the play, falls, but he's holding Q's jersey, tosses Q to the ground, forces the hold. Okay. Explosion off the snap there from Q. Explosion, right? First one off the ball, working that arm, plenty of power, throwing that guy on his ass. Was that still Andrews last year? I think. Q sack, okay. And one tech, 1-0. I want to call him a really tight one or a zero. I'm cool with it. Now we have a TT stunt. So he's just going to delay, engage with we'll call him Andrews, even though it might not be Andrews. I'm just blanking out on names right now. This is like my 150th play recording today. But engages low and slow, waits for the pick to come. Pick comes, guard carries it too much, free as a free lane, but realizes, hey, obviously quarterback's dropping out of this. He's going to try to scramble or at least get out of the pocket, adjust to it well, chase him down for the sack. The knee hits the ground here. Blow up run. Okay. Loose one. Loose one tech. Okay. So this is an aggressive play. You're seeing that again, just being scheme aware, you're seeing that guard pull away from you. Where does that mean that the run is going? Sorry, somebody walked in, so I'm surprised my dog just didn't go crazy. But nonetheless, guard vacates away from you. Where is the run going? Probably to Q's left right here. So he's gonna be aggressive. He's gonna fill that vacated gap with a rip move to work past the containment punch of the center, or containment of the center, trying to down block him and hold him up. Rip, power to hold his line, working to crossing the center's face to cut off the running back's angle, cuts off the running back's angle, make the tackle. or sorry, start to make the tackle. He doesn't make the tackle, but still a dominant play, right? He forces the cutback, forces the tackle for loss. This is a very, very good play by Q. Obviously, finish and make the tackle is an A plus play, but we're gonna take that. Q run tackle. Okay, three tech. All right. Comes off the ball, matches the zone steps, sees the weak inside shoulder, club, rip it, win the play side gap, win the play side gap. Right. Probably even a hold here by the offensive lineman, continues to drive through the hand. Finally works past him, chops down the play side arm, makes a tackle. Again, very good reaction, good hand usage in terms of the club rip right there, driving the feet to staying on the run. Running back had to bounce that or Q was going to make the play. Q quarterback hit. Okay. Loose, really loose one, two eye. I would call it more of a two eye than a loose one, but a two eye. Right. Comes off the ball. Comes off the ball. Relatively decent timing. Takes the chest. Again, you see how he has, remember talking about McDonald in terms of the hand placement on the bull rushes, how McDonald's hands are over the top and like this, or even if they're not over the top of the shoulders, they're straight up like this, where Q's hands are thumbs up, like we were talking about the other day, or I was talking about yesterday. You guys have probably seen that review however long ago now. But good hand placement, extension, right? Feel that inside shoulder is weak, and that's where the quarterback is. So he's going to torque him away from that, torques him away from it, arm overs, and is right in Darnold's face. Gets the hit. Sauce gets the deflection. Um, on effort, disrupt question mark. Okay. Slanted one tech. Yeah, I'm not sure, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be if he's just trying to see. It seems like you have Kinlaw trying to occupy these two guys, Q trying to occupy the center, and then Clemens is supposed to be working inside on the stunt. It's kind of what it looks like, but Q, I'm not sure what's going on there in terms of the effort to get there. Or even if he is supposed to, again, I'm not exactly sure if he's supposed to occupy the center, then like rip that near arm of the center right now to take him into the guard. So Clemens has an inside gap. Q doesn't do much there. The guard's not really engaged. He doesn't try to turn into a bull rush or be any sort of disruptive. Right? Like at this point, even if you're not getting there, get your hands up. So not the best effort from Q. Run stop. One tech. Again, whether he had like a gap exchange or whatever it may be with the offensive or with the linebackers, potentially, or he's going to shoot his shot because he sees the tackle or sorry the center opening up flat, so he decides to club rip him. Club rip, right? Sees that A gap is going to be closed up though, so now he's just going to keep his eyes up for where the running back is going. Running back happens to be going towards where Q is already moving, matches him, tackles him. He was a little bit lucky there in terms of like shooting his shot and then not necessarily getting there. But now you have a situation where the guard is moving towards the center. Guard kind of picks the center for Q. Run is going more vertical towards Q. Makes the play. Okay, so it's not like a play like, hey, this is the best play ever, but he ends up making a tackle, so we'll take that. Run stuff, double fork. Okay. Again, loose one, really loose one. Decisiveness comes off the ball. Guy doesn't want to take on two guys, wants to take on one instead. His hands probably go to bull rush here, but I think what ends up happening is the center's hands are fast to land. So now their hands kind of work against each other. And Q, instead of getting his arms into the chest, the arms go into both the elbows, and it works as like a double fork initially, right? Left hand underneath the elbow, right hand underneath on the forearm. Offensive lineman can't get a strong point of contact because Q's double forking the arms. Keeps contact. or gets contacted into the chest, extension, making the running back really bubble that track out. Gets the separation so he can cross the face and separate. Forgets the separation so he can cross the face. Sorry, not and separate. Quasi ice pick tackle. Really good. Get aggressive. Get the hands on. Kind of readjust and on the fly. Double fork the arms. Right hand lands. Extension through that right hand to cross the face, make the tackle. And still very good player. He was just a little bit more hot and cold, and sometimes he disappeared more than you want for a guy who's, in my opinion, a top five D tackle in the league, if not top three. Sometimes the best, certain games, certain chunks of season. Three tech right here. Okay, rush win. Josh Allen's out of there pretty much immediately. Q comes off the ball. A little bit of reduced stride because it's more of an aggressive set. So now he's kind of reading the offensive lineman, sees the hand shooting, hands are on guard, double swipe, beats him. You're gonna shoot both those hands, you better land. Double swipe, beats him, he's there immediately. Josh Allen scrambles. Q move off of spot. Okay. 2-eye. Okay, here it's a thing where the guard actually does a pretty good job of like taking that brace step and getting his hands on immediately. The thing with Q is, and again, it is hard because now he has both hands in his chest, so he's not really going to be able to like turn and reduce. But you got to try to do your absolute best to, even at this point, grab him by both the shoulders. Like even if you get splashed, grab him by both the shoulders and try to do your best to just turn out of that. He ends up just kind of playing that straight up and getting moved. Guard does a good job. I'll give him credit. But at a certain point, or obviously initially right here, you got to turn immediately. He starts to turn, but it's too late. He's getting moved. Gets moved out of that, completely moved out of that play. Smart spin, sack. Okay. Three tech. Right. So he goes to rush to guard. Swipe, club. Just the pairing of his rush moves is really good. Swipe the inside, chop for the outside, rip, but realizes that, hey, Josh Allen's staying a little bit shallow here, right? I'm not going to be able to turn this corner. The guard does a good job of like working his form into the ribs. So at this point, he's not going to win. He knows that. Decides to spin out of it because the guard is really leaning on him to push him vertically. Spin out of that. Get the sack on Josh Allen. Okay. Another sack for Q. One tech. Okay. Rushing the center here. Rushing the center. Takes the open chest. Good leverage. He's naturally low too, though. He's not the tallest guy in the world. It's not even because of his base, really. He's just naturally low, which is a benefit for D tackles at times, or a lot of times actually. Hands inside, keep running the feet, torquing them, keep running the feet, torquing them. Bull, as you feel yourself start to be able to pull yourself through, jerk, arm over, get there for the sack. And take the open chest, extension with the left, pull yourself through, arm over, sack. Very nice. Um, Force hold. Okay, three tech. Okay. Just as good as a sack. Sometimes even better. Lets the hand land on them. Just want to see the hands be a little bit more active or see that punch coming. Good punch. Q is still able to chop it, rip, chop, rip, defeat the elbow. See the elbow is at a tighter angle, like down, elbow down. Elbow flares, you don't want it. Flares because of the rip. Rip slides off towards the wrist, refits the rip to the elbow. Bend, dive, but he's held by the horse collar or by the collar. Okay, another sack by Q. Three tech. Okay, TT stunt. Okay, so he occupies 74's eyes. Good timing to cross his face. Sees the A gap. Is the A gap? Yeah, sees that A gap open. Right, we're like really not nobody's in it, but they're not covered enough with the feet to engage. He's just gonna try to squirt through them. Arm overs the center. The thing is, you wish that he defeat that inside arm of 77 here to get there through there cleanly. So want to see him defeat that. He gets caught a little bit, which is why he kind of pops up right here. But he continues to just drive the feet in his power. One, and you have hands to the face, but nonetheless, yeah, want to see him defeat that arm, no doubt. But you just see pure power, just continue to explode through there, and he gets the sack. Q tackle. Okay, three tech. Yeah, comes off the ball. They're a little bit more aggressive, in terms of like leaning forward a little bit more. So I'm not sure if it's by design or just awareness. That's gonna say he's gonna say, hey, I'm gonna take on one guy here. Takes on the tackle, hands inside, extension, nice base, working off the right instep. Eyes are inside, looking for the running back. An extension, keep that extension. Running back is taking it more inside. Q notices that, keeps the extension, pulls himself through, frees up the inside half tackle. Okay, Q sack. Three tech. Just straight bull rush. Comes off the ball with aggression, nice and low. And the right hand deflects a little bit, but still is able to land into the chest of Green. Plays through or plays through the hands and just bull rushes, bull rushes, bull rushes. Again, you could just tell based on where the hips are and stuff and where Stratus, you have to cross his face at some point. And the bull rush when he tries to really anchor down at this point, with a prayer, he crosses the face because there's that separation from there's separation from Q to the offensive lineman. Cross the face sack. Can take the open chest. Again, work right into him. And again, like there was some lack of this with Q this year in terms of like I saw him hesitating or not being as decisive. But when you get him not hesitating and him being decisive, this is what you get. Bull rush, a lot of power through that left arm. Throw him backwards. When you throw him backwards, you try to get to his anchor. It's a perfect time to cross his face. Keeps that extension, crosses the face, arm over sack. QB hit, four eye, slanted four eye. Playing with angles a little bit, more of an aggressive angle towards the inside, right? Gets the guard to sit a little bit, times it, contact window, club, rip, defeat that arm. Secondary awareness of traffic and stuff. We talk about that a lot in terms of like club, rip, outside half free, noticing he's coming close to the tackle. So instead of just like running into him, tripping over him, he uses it to his advantage actually. And again, you see, some of the bend and stuff for his size. He's gonna take this right hand and use it as again almost like an ice pick off of the hip to keep himself clean. Gets the hit. Q quarterback hit again. Three tech. And a little bit more patient here. He can rush you multiple ways. Again, if he's heavy in his stance and he's exploding off the ball, fine. If he's in a more being a more of a soft stance, whereas mate's more in the middle of his foot and read stuff, then fine. Comes off the ball, reduced stride. I don't know if this. I'm assuming this is some type of. I'm assuming this is a pass situation, just based on how he's playing this and reading the tackle or reading the guard. Reduced stride, waiting for the hands, times it, club, arm over, club arm over, chop down on that arm, get the stride for the hit. 1 second. Next play, Q split sack. Again, a lot of it's good in this review. I realize that. Zero tech. But even his bad, like it's not bad. It's just like just wasn't decisive. And me showing a bunch of plays like him not being decisive or not making a play. It's just sometimes it gets boring defensive lineman. I admit that. Especially with D tackles. TT stunt. Okay. So now he's trying to engage. He's club ripping the center to Y to pull him away from this gap. You want a lot of separation in this A gap so he can then loop. So he does that, club rip. But what he sees right now when he's going to club rip is, hey, this guard's really not ready for me, so I'm gonna be the one to get this effing sack. That's basically what happens. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna really try because like if let's say that guard was really ready for him, like if he started to do this and the guard was right there sitting there, you're hoping that Q would basically almost hold this arm and drag him. But because he sees he's not ready for him, he adjusts or just plays it smart, attacks the shoulder and the hip, creating movement, pop him back, rush the weak hip now. Obviously, he's weak to that inside in the inside half. Secondary again, just awareness of traffic. Keep yourself clean, propel off of it. Get the shroud for the half sack. Q tackle for loss. Okay, three tech. Yeah, smart. Right, comes off the ball, but movement. Right, with that guard pulling, and that tackle working up vertically on you. What's going on? So just really good awareness. He's coming off the ball. Is really quick to shorten that stride and get lateral. Like very quick awareness. Very quick awareness. Working to the tackle who you feel is going to be like down blocking on you. Working to his chest. Get extension. Throw him backwards. Kind of works as like a natural rub again with that tight end blocking McDonald. Kind of works as a pick. Get over top. Very good. Very, very good awareness and run game recognition there. Tackle versus Quentin Nelson, one of the better. He's actually from I'm from Middletown. He's from the town over. Well, actually, I'm from Highlands, still the town over from Red Bank, but he went to Red Bank. So he went to a school 15 minutes from my house, Quentin Nelson, RBC in high school. So left guard, Q versus left guard. Again, more aggressive here. More aggressive, working directly into Quentin Nelson. Hands tight, extension, turning himself away from the combo. So extension into him, feels the combo coming, ducks away from it. So we have a lot of power through Q's left instep, but he's turning his right. Nice and low, eyes still in the backfield. Look at that. Not what you want to see if you're running the ball. Really good job. Aggression, feeling the combo coming, turning himself away from it, dropping the near knee, eyes up. Gets hands to the face right here, so his head turns, gets his eyes back, sees Nelson going to Q's left, gets extension again. Extension right here. So people are like, oh, bench press doesn't matter and stuff. Yes, it does. It matters. Is this not your chest? Get that separation. Arm crosses or arm over, free the inside half, get the tackle. Or he actually freezes the entire half. Or the entire body, sorry. Q tackle for loss. 2I. Actually, sorry, loose one. Okay, again, he's trying to immediately penetrate that gap. So he's trying to just go arm over and rip. Arm over rip, gets caught a little bit. He gets caught a little bit, so he's not in the strongest position, but he keeps fighting for that rip. So the rip doesn't land. You see how he like bounces off the elbow, but then refits. Doesn't land again. Tries to refit. Now he's like guarding his chest. and then chases on. Like, okay, this guy's trying to reach me. Quentin Nelson's trying to cross shove me to the so he can get across my face. I'm going to continue to try that throw that rip and just not let him cross my face. Get his eyes back, and oh shit, there's a running back bang tackle. Very good. Tackle versus combo. Slanted four. Yeah, in terms of like, okay, linebackers have to help him here. If somebody goes through the B gap, he's being aggressive, trying to shoot the backdoor this run. Engages, engages 60, hands inside. So I don't know if it's what I think happens is he's going to be aggressive and backdoor this. Like I think he's trying to if I had to guess, he's going to backdoor the guard. When he goes to backdoor the guard, he realizes, oh shit, a combo is coming. So it's a situation where I'm going to engage one guy, the center, because that's where I'm working into, because it's not like he just like takes him on and now he's like squared up. Like he does a good job of reducing, dropping the knee. Watch the left knee. See the drop in the left knee. He's reducing himself to the guard. So I think it's a play where he's trying to be aggressive, like pass rush or even in the run game, but realizes a combo is coming and how am I going to adjust on the fly? And he does that by turning away, like dropping that knee and turning away. He's able to hold up a little bit. He's able to hold up versus a combo. A lot of power for the instep. Eyes in the backfield. Keep that extension. Free up the outside half. Tackle. It's a very good adjustment on the fly because he's moving away from the play initially. Q run stop. Okay, your zero tech. And I'm assuming this is just one based on all the stances and stuff. You're anticipating running. I'm assuming this is a rundown, short yardage, whatever it may be. Q widens, gets into his anchor. Hands come a little wide, but they land first, I believe. Thumbs up, extension, eyes into the backfield. Eyes into the backfield, sees it's going to the right, maintains the extension, pulls himself through again. And when you have that extension too, it's not only like allowing yourself to cross, it's also that if you pull yourself through like that extension now is there's that separation. So the guard's gonna be leaning into you or the center's gonna be leaning into you, where if you're chest to chest and tight with him, there is no pulling yourself through and him being off balance because then you pull him right into yourself. So again, keep that separation, keep him off balance, stand him up, pull yourself through, get in on the tackle. Q tackle versus combo. Okay. Again, three tech. Okay. This is how you want to handle a combo. Take on one guy, come off the ball, see the combo coming, take on one guy, nice and low, hands into the shoulders, but he's so bent from the waist that he's not going to be able to land into the chest right here. But good extension, hands up, turn yourself away from the secondary blocker, anchor off the left step, drop the right, gets popped back a little bit, but is able to anchor down, pull himself through, free him up. Now it's his time to make a play, and he does. Really good stuff versus a combo block. Okay, this play is able to Q, just Q. One tech. Damn. Yeah, again, being aggressive here, coming off the ball, realizing movement from the left into me, pulling from the guard. Where's the run going? Away, but I'm going to be aggressive here. Hand lands quickly, runs through the contact, gets extension, flattens immediately, cut off the running back, tackle. That's a ridiculous, like just very, very good. The explosion there, the hand placement, the recognition as quick as it is, flattening, the athleticism, the corner there. A plus, bad run. Okay, so we saw a few, one, two, three bad plays too. Obviously, then there's more. But being more neutral, where it's like it's just not sexy to show. Like if it's bad, you want it to be bad. If it's good, you want it to be good. When a guy is just like he's so like just jack of all trades, where it's like a play is slightly bad or slightly good. Like those are usually that are the worst to do. but he's a three tech right here. Okay. Moves inside and matches the movement. I'm not sure why he doesn't just anchor down here, like engage and cinch down. He kind of just allows himself to be blocked. Works to the inside, never really tries to extend the base, never really tries to anchor or get back in on the play. So I don't know if he's, I don't know, that could be a play where, like, realistically, hey, if you end up playing 10, 15 plays in a row, you may be gassed. But I'm okay with lateral movement here, but get your hands on and, sink down, sink down and engage. Kind of allows himself to be blocked there. I think he might be a little bit gassed on that one, to be honest. Okay, 3 plays left. Q shed. One tech. Okay, so thing I want to see him do better here, though, is, well, once he notices two guys come, take on one. Like, he is pretty high up into this. So he takes on the center. Um, Tomlinson just sucks. He probably could have got moved here, to be honest, but engages with the center, eventually gets a good base to him. Power off the left instep, looking at the running back, closing ground on him, pulls himself through, tackle. Yeah, I don't love the technique here in terms of taking on the combo. Now he's so powerful and stuff that boom, he's set. Gets that base, makes a tackle. Hold on one second. Okay, continuing on the last two of this one. I think I'm gonna sneak in a 9-play Eric Watts review too and be done. Tap it at 5 today. um, Four tech slanted four, we'll call him. Really tight five. I'd call him a slanted four. Okay, rushing the guard. I don't want that hand as high as it is necessarily, but left hand lands inside, right hand lands inside. Extension, extension with the right, extension with the right on what, Ben Cleveland? Or sorry, extension with the left, my bad. Re-lands the right on a club. So it's almost like he goes to land both hands inside, but that hand claps a little bit. So then you have a thing where his elbow is a little bit flared right now, so it's not the strongest. So he just a lot of pressure to the left arm now, not the right. And then the right arm readjusts into a club. Push that shoulder back. Now he's off balance, weight shifting, take advantage, club, rip, get there for the hit on Mac Jones, who then scrambles. But still, we'll take it as a pass rush win, right? Pressure, bull rip. All right. Slanted 4-5, really tight. Okay. Same exact thing. Sorry. So 30-play review. I'll talk about Q for, I guess, a minute and 42 seconds. As I do this one, obviously relatively shorter review with Q. Again, I do think there was, especially in the first couple of games, again, you're not really seeing a lot of highlight plays from him. So the first, like, really 2 or 3 games, he kind of just was absent in terms of, like, what I expect from Q. Started to make more plays towards the end of the year. Um, Again, just looked a little bit indecisive at times, looked a little bit disinterested at times, which I think is really a theme throughout the Jets defense. I think they stopped buying into the message of Saleh. I think they're a little bit disappointed with Rodgers and what the lack thereof of production of the offense. Obviously defense gave up a lot of stuff late as well and led to some losses as well. But just a thing where, again, Q looked disinterested at times and so did other people. But wasn't as decisive, wasn't as good with, like, diagnosing and reacting to the run game at times. Again, was a little bit more, what is it called? Hot and cold than you'd expect him to be. Like, he would have a stretch of a few plays or even maybe a game where he wasn't effective, then he would always bounce back. Where in this season, it seemed like there was a game or 2 or even 3 game stretches where he was kind of just, solid and not necessarily great. So obviously want to see him get back to his form where he's consistently dominant or at a or on each game, or not on each game, during each game. Sorry, blanking out a little bit, getting a little bit stupid. I've been recording for a while. But nonetheless, I expect Q to bounce back, probably a top 10 to 15 D tackle this year. Again, just because of some of the cold stretches. but I expect him to be a top, 3 to 5 guy moving forward. Maybe it takes him a little bit more or a little bit of time to adjust the new scheme and stuff with this regime, but he's plenty scheme flexible where he could do whatever you want him to do. I prefer him penetrating and trying to get to the quarterback instead of trying to like more read and react for the 1 game stuff. But nonetheless, that's the Q review. I'll see you guys on the next one.